Oh, it is a happy Bendy on a Monday. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant, joined by Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and as usual on a Monday, Clint Pasillas. Fellas, there's a lot to smile about on this Monday. Clint, how are we feeling? How are we feeling on this Monday?
I mean, there's nothing to be excited about at all today as a Dodger fan. Not because of a Joe Kelly shirt. Is that a Joe Kelly jersey by Parker Bell? Hey guys, it's Shohei Otani Day for those who celebrate. Happy Shohei Otani Day.
Happy Shohei Otani Day. In case you have not heard the news, Shohei will get the start tonight on the mound for the Dodgers against the Padres. We'll get into that. We'll get into the weekend series against the Giants as well. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to the folks at LAX. They are transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. Looking forward to the People Mover train, expected to open early next year. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. So, Greg, it's finally happening. Dave Roberts said it wasn't going to happen until after the All-Star break. As I check my watch, it is still mid-June, which means the All-Star break has not yet happened. So chalk another one up for Doc Roberts and his prognosis.
They are just the most ridiculous thing. Shohei Otani is going to be on the mound tonight because, like, if you just go through the timeline of what Doc said about Shohei Otani and pitching on the mound in an actual game, it's staggering how much it changed week to week to week to week. It was not till the All-Star break. Maybe he could be before the All-Star break. Oh, he could possibly go in June. Okay, fine. We're going to go early. Let's put him in. It'll be next week. You know what? Screw it all. Doesn't matter. Go tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's how it gets.
That's exactly how I recall the timeline.
That's pretty much it. So he does get the start. Now, it's going to be kind of an opener situation. They only expect him to pitch an inning or two at the most as they continue to work him back. I mean, this is sort of his rehab from the most recent surgery and kind of getting himself ready to pitch. Although, Clint, do you feel like this got moved up because of the Roki Sasaki news with the expectation that maybe he's gone for the year? It feels like that kind of gave them the final push to make this happen.
Well, what's funny is even Doc kind of backtracked on the Roki Sasaki news, from before game to after game. So he was on one yesterday at Dodger Stadium. But I think ultimately it comes down to Shohei Otani wanted this to happen. We're sitting at 22 months since the surgery. I think he's pretty healed up. And another factor was that he had mentioned after his last simulated game, what was it, 44 pitches or whatever, they had that in the afternoon. Then he had to ramp down and then ramp back up for the game. I think that was really the I can't think of a big word to use for right now. That was the reasoning behind them deciding to be like, hey, let's give him, if he already looks so good, let's just let him rehab against big league hitters for one inning to open a game, and then he could hit and everything is fine after that, as opposed to the cool down and trying to get him back going again, a few hours after throwing in the afternoon. Everything about it's perfect to me, but Shohei was the driver behind this.
Impetus. That's the word.
Impetus.
There you go.
I didn't want to say it wrong.
Did we just impetus at the same time, Greg?
Yeah, look at that. Did we
Synergy.
just best friends? Yeah.
And Powerthesaurus.com is your best friend for situations like that. I mean, Parker, you, as somebody who willingly watches the Angels, you saw Shohei pitch plenty with the Angels. I mean, look, we all kind of have an idea of what to expect, but I mean, this is a huge deal because the last time he pitched, he was wearing a halo on his hat.
Yeah, I also lost some money on the Halos this weekend, so we're not going to mention them. But let's freaking go. We're back. Yeah, the last time he pitched, guys, I mean, nearly 21 months ago, August 23rd, I think it was. This is huge. This is super exciting. Shohei Otani is he's fine. So let him pitch. Clinton, you mentioned it. The sim games to the ramping up, to the ramping down, to ramping up. There's no point in any of that. Travis Rogers was saying that like a week ago. If he's going to say he's okay and he's going through these simulated games, you might as well let him pitch one or two because we're already doing opening games. So the fact that it happened right now, I wish I had tickets for this game. I got the jersey, though. It's a holiday in my book, and knock on wood, everything goes right. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, look, I'm sure whatever tickets were left available probably are no longer available at this point for tonight's ball game. And shout out to the folks at Major League Baseball because it is the free game on MLB.com today. I don't know if it was going to be the free game beforehand or if they decided to make that change after the news of Shohei starting came out. Anybody else kind of holding their breath, though, with the recent history of Dodger pitchers that, fingers crossed, eyes crossed, toes crossed, that Shohei gets through these 2 innings okay?
Not so much. I think he knows his body so well, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. By the way, I looked up the prices. It was going for if you're a little bit behind home plate and Lowe's, it's like $150 before this. It went up to like $450 immediately. It shot way up.
I was watching that in real time yesterday. It was hilarious.
Did it actually tick up the way it was going?
Oh yeah, pretty much.
But I'm not so worried about him. I think he's going to be just fine out there. He's not going to pitch very much, probably 20 to 40 pitches, somewhere in that range, 1 to 2 innings, depending on what he wants to do. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think is the most likely thing to happen? Does he pitch 2 clean innings and hit a home run in his first at bat in the bottom of the first? Does he get lit up and just not do anything at the plate? Or is it a little bit of mixture of both? Like he's really good. He's good pitching and good at the plate. Where do you think his line is going to be both ways?
For me, I think he's going to be all the way locked in. This is a dude who is chomping at the bit. Again, he's the guy who told the Los Angeles Dodgers, no, this is what I want to do. We're going to do this. He's got to go out there and prove to himself, hey, I can do this. I'm going to be healthy, and I'm going to strike some dudes out. I'm going to go super crazy. I'm going to go super homer. Strikes out the side, hits a homer in the bottom of the first to lead off the bottom of the inning, and then if he goes a second inning, I would be kind of shocked, to be honest. I think if he has a good first inning, they're going to be like, let's rest on our laurels there. And you might see a spring trading type of thing where he runs off to the bullpen and throws more pitches. Maybe this is just now me, going a little crazy with it, but expect anything right now because this has never happened. And it's never happened.
I tend to lean with. I think he gets through a clean first inning. I think he hits. I'm not going to go with he strikes out the side. I will say he strikes out Machado. He strikes out Machado to end the inning though. Which
love that.
Huge crowd, a huge cheer from the Dodger crowd. There's one thing we've seen about Shohei is that he locks in. I mean, as Clint was saying, when the situation is the biggest, when the lights are the brightest, he tends to show up at his best. And why not? The first time he's pitched in nearly 2 years. Against the Padres, with whom they have really ignited a fierce rivalry over the last several years. At Dodger Stadium, the place is going to be electric. I think this is when Shohei shows up at his best, Parker.
Yeah, and Greg, pitching isn't just an addition to Otani's game. I think it's a co-equal. So these 2 things combined together is going to be the biggest pop we've got out of Dodger Stadium this year. We're going to hear it all the way here downtown at the ESPN LA studios when Shohei strikes out. Honestly, I'm with Clint. He's going bang, bang, bang. We're going to see everybody sit down and then possibly a home run.
It sounds ridiculous to say something like that, but every time Shohei Otani, bobblehead night, he hits 2 home runs. When he needs to get to 50-50, he just has the greatest game possibly in the history of baseball. Like when those things are happening, he steps up and he hits those and he does things that is just amazing. It's not something just okay. It's always something amazing. So I would not be surprised if it goes the way of Clint with the 3 strikeouts and the home run because he's so jacked up. But I'm probably more on the Marcus side when it comes to he'll have a clean inning. Maybe just like a triple, in the bottom at the beginning.
Just a triple. Wow. All right, so we look forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. All eyes will be on Dodger Stadium, especially in the bottom of the first inning, or the top of the first inning, rather, when Otani takes them out. And I guess the bottom of the first inning when he takes the batter's box as well for his first at bat of the night. Interesting stat that you sent us yesterday, Greg, that once Otani is a starter, once he starts the ball game, he will officially become the Dodger with the most home runs to ever start a game, right? Passing Don Drysdale. By a lot, actually.
Don had like 25 or 26.
29, I think it was, career home runs. Otani has 75 as a Dodger, 250.
That's pretty funny.
I did love one of the responses to that, by the way, was, well, Kike could do that too if Dave ever let him start a game. So
that's a great line. Whoever wrote that, solid
if
line.
they let him start, Kike would be ahead of Drysdale too at this point. But let's go back to the weekend because the Giants come in. They win Friday night in what was a frustrating game for Yamamoto, Clint. But the rest of the weekend, the pitching showed up, the hitting showed up when it needed to. The Dodgers take 2 out of 3, and at least for now, like they have, I know they still have the Padres for 4 more, but they're 2 really big tests in the division. They've come out on top in both of those.
Yeah, without any help from the home plate umpire in 2 of those 3 games. Shout out Adam Beck. Shout out CB Buckner for doing what they do best and being really, really bad at finding a strike zone. But you had to love what you saw out of the Dodgers, particularly on Saturday. Saturday, apparently, the Giants felt so bad that they had to go and make the biggest blockbuster of the year in trading for Rafael Devers on Sunday, which was wild. And that's something like where that came from, I don't know. But everything you saw from the Dodgers this weekend, you had to love. And they're doing this, still without their aces. They're still doing without more aces, because you still have Glasnow missing, you still have Sasaki missing. I don't know if you put him in that category. You still have Snell, happy Snell bobblehead day and all that. I think we also got to give a shout out to Clayton Kershaw.
Yes,
an outing, 7 innings, 3 hits, all the way back, Kersh.
I mean, 5 strikeouts. He's only 12 away from the 3,000 mark. You kind of got to say he's really hitting a groove. He went from 7 strikeouts to 5 strikeouts, and he went 7 innings. When was the last time you thought you'd actually think he would go 7 innings? Every time we talk about him, it's, hey, if he gets through 5, cool, great. 7? What pitcher do we have that is actually one of those aces you were talking about actually goes 7?
Yeah.
I mean, he's even out here experimenting pitches. Throwing some 46-mile-per-hour curves. So he's finding his groove.
We call that an ephus.
I say the old ephus pitch, right? The old ephus pitch shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he really has started to rebound, right? I mean, you look at his last few starts, obviously the 7 innings against the Giants. He gave them 5 strong innings against the Cardinals in St. Louis a week or so ago. Kind of had a semi-rough outing against the Mets, although you can sort of blame the defense on that one, too, for leaving him out there to throw some extra pitches. Looked good against the Guardians, even though the bullpen couldn't hold it. And even that previous start against the Mets, where unfortunately had to leave after a couple of innings because of rain. It is looking like Kershaw is starting to sort of build things up again. And that is certainly encouraging for this pitching staff. So definitely looking forward to that. But you mentioned it, though, Clint. The Giants do trade for Rafael Devers, which I don't know if you guys noticed this, but ESPN barely mentioned it at all during the broadcast yesterday.
No, just once, I think, was all I saw it.
Just once for a 4-inning stretch at the start of the game. That was the one time that it was like, come on, guys, we get it. We get it. It's a trade.
But okay, well, just real fast. If that was the Dodgers that traded for Rafael Devers and they moved Max Muncy, what would you be? It would be every single, and we'd be like, I need to hear more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but I'm being salty and bitter because it was the Giants that did it and not the Dodgers. And so
fair. Totally fair.
That's why I'm just sitting here being salty about the whole thing. I mean, it will. I'll say this: it will make for an interesting division race the rest of the way. I did spend some time kind of not trolling, but just like crawling through Red Sox social media and their fan base. Someone actually brought up a good point. The Red Sox have done a lot to create this NL West monster that we're all sort of dealing with right now, right?
Yep.
By trading Mookie Betts, by letting Xander Bogaerts walk, and now trading Rafael Devers. The Red Sox have really set up what is a monster of a division right now. So thank you.
That 2018 World Series team, well represented.
Yeah, across the division.
The one Red Sox fan, Greg, is security guard Alex here. For those who don't know, we mention him all the time on air. He's the only Red Sox fan. When I walked in today, you guys won't believe what he said. He said he may be moving over to the Dodgers.
As he should. You're in LA, buddy. He's a red team. Like, what are we going with this red
I forgot about your red team thing.
No. That has been my thing for my entire life. But it's also they just move off these guys so fast. Devers right now, it just seems like a complete nonsense trade right now. And look, with Bogaerts, at least Bogaerts is not really playing that well down in San Diego. But Devers is a really, really good player. That's going to make San Francisco just that much more formidable in this crazy NL West.
It feels to me like everything just got a little too toxic between Devers and the front office. And it just, Marcus, you feel like it was the right time to make this move?
I'm surprised. Although, just because of some things that had gone on. I know there was a situation where the owner had sort of called out Devers and he never bothered to respond. And I think for a lot of people, that was kind of the final straw, that when the guy who signs your checks can't even get a response from you on things, that it's probably time to go. But, I think if you look at this, a lot of this was a situation of the front office's own making. I mean, here it is, a guy who wanted to play third base. They moved him off of that to DH. They've been trying to move him around positionally, which he wasn't really happy with. I know he started the season not hitting well, then has caught fire since then. So it was definitely a toxic situation that they had to move on from. I'm surprised they did it now, and I'm surprised they did it for what was relatively little in return. It again, reading people's reactions to it, it feels sort of like the baseball answer to the Luca trade, right? That you have a team giving up kind of, I won't say a generational talent, but a youngish player amongst the best at his position in the game, playing at a high level and getting relatively little back. I mean,
it's also, there's a lot of money left on that contract for 10, 11 more years. That's the thing that makes it, almost untradeable. So you're not going to get a whole lot back if now the Giants are paying that entire contract. But yeah, I could also see the Luca comp there.
Well, the difference in that is that Luca had no interest in leaving Dallas. He was about to sign a supermax in Dallas. He
Never
was like,
wanted out.
This just came out of nowhere. He's like, "What? Why you're trading me? I'm a 25-year-old superstar. What do you mean you're going to trade me?" Devers was trying to get out, and the size of the contract too, as Clinton mentioned, that's a very much different. But like at where they are in their prime, that very much very, very similar.
Yeah,
I also think to say, Marcus.
Yeah,
Netflix followed Boston the wrong year,
or the right year,
or the maybe
the drama.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just I think it's interesting too. I mean, the funny side notes though, this whole thing though, is like Kyle Harrison had just finished his warm-up tosses when they pulled him and said, "Hey, we're trading you." Meanwhile, I think Devers actually got pulled off the team plane.
Yeah.
They were about to hop on a plane and head to Seattle to take on the Mariners for a little bit. So
do you think he was cheering, his arms raised like, "Yeah, I'm out of here"?
I mean, yeah, you feel like it would have been awkward, right, for him to fly across the country, like you get to call midair, and somewhere you're over Detroit and you still have several hours left, and you're still talking about how great it is that you're not going to be on this team anymore.
He's looking at all right. You're screwed. I'm here.
Dapping everybody up.
I'm very, very much looking forward to that first presser as a Giant, just to kind of see how much shade he throws at the Sox, because there's going to be some shade there. Roy has a great comment in the chat, by the way, guys. It's like, if the Dodgers traded for Devers, the entire baseball world would be absolutely losing their minds.
No, he's right. He's right. If the Dodgers somehow landed Rafael Devers, there would be boycotts, there'd be protests in front of the MLB offices, demanding. David Stern, if he were the commissioner of Major League Baseball, would have rescinded the trade if it were to the Dodgers. There's no way he would have let
especially if they gave up what the Giants gave up. Yeah, that's like a bag of chips. What we would give, we'd be saying you can have Michael Conforto. Why don't you take Miguel Rojas and maybe someone in single A? That's it. That's good.
Well, they also took Harrison and they optioned him to AAA. I mean, this is a guy who was literally getting ready to face Shohei Otani, and now he's he's gonna be Worcester or wherever, So yeah, Worcester. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, turning to our attention to tonight. Obviously, we talked about Shohei getting the start. We'll see how long he goes, whether it's an inning or 2 innings. Shouldn't be a long turn for him after that. Any idea of is it Dreyer? Do we know who's
sorry.
No. Who takes over for Shohei after?
I was thinking it feels like a Matt Sauer thing. He's the most built up, and he's still around for some reason. And Kasparius is likely starting tomorrow, so that's what they have left.
Okay. So that makes sense then. So we may see Sauer after Shohei finishes up. So going to be interesting. You mentioned Dylan Cease on the other side. Parker, the last time the Dodgers saw Dylan Cease, it was they were not having a good time. I mean, Cease has not been great this year, so hopefully they watch the tape, they get better, because Cease was lights out last week when they faced him.
I mean, it's just one of those things the Dodgers have fallen into a habit of this year, where they see a guy who's struggling, and they say, hey, how about we get you back in the groove? And then somebody who's a Cy Young level guy, they'll dominate. So I'm expecting tonight all the attention is going to be on Shohei. So at least that might give the offense some sort of like just distraction to go, okay, let's just go out there and get Shohei some run support. So it's going to be a good one. I mean, Dylan sees Shohei Otani. This is what we signed up for as Dodger fans right here, is two premier guys going back and forth against each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Clint, when you look at this, the Dodgers come into this, they have a 3-game lead over the Padres. Now, I don't think it's possible to throw a knockout punch for a team in June, but man, a good series. Dodgers take 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
They really have put some distance between themselves and San Diego.
Yeah, I think if they do lose 3 of 4 in the series, the Padres are going to be reeling because, you got to figure going into the weekend, they're feeling pretty decent. And then all of a sudden, the teams ahead of them pick up Rafael Devers and the Dodgers pick up Shohei Otani as a pitcher. And then you lose more ground. You'll be, 6 games back by that point, 5 games back, whatever it is. I'm bad at math. Yeah, that would be a knockout blow. And that's the type of thing that gets AJ Preller's hand shaking, where he wants to go out and make his trades now immediately and do something stupid to well, I guess it's not really stupid. You decimate your farm system, but you always keep your team relevant. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a big swing week when it comes to what the Padres are going to be doing at the trade deadline. And hopefully the Dodgers take 3 or 4. Hell, let's sweep them too. I'm going bold all morning here.
Oh, look at you. I love bold Clint. Do that.
Yeah. I'm never positive. You know this, man. I'm not the positive guy.
That's why we get along.
Taking out 4 would be absolutely amazing in this whole thing. Sort of off the off menu here a little bit, Greg. The Diamondbacks are just sort of hanging around right now, 36, 35, 6.5 games back. Like, they're not out of it, but it also doesn't really feel like they're in a position to make a move. I mean, Clint was talking about the trade deadline. I mean, there's talk that this team could be a seller at the trade deadline. I don't know if there's any pieces that the Dodgers would want or that they'd be willing to trade to the Dodgers, but I feel like, maybe take a peek in Arizona's roster and see if maybe there's some help potentially to be had there.
I mean, if they want to give us Ketel Marte, I'd be very happy to go reach out to his agent if that's possible. But no,
Marte Miggy Rowe swap.
Yeah, that easy, perfect. A possible MVP candidate for Miggy Rowe makes sense.
The Red Sox would do it. So
that's a great point. But yeah, I mean, the Diamondbacks are just one of those teams that they're just kind of hanging around, and they were in the World Series. What was it, 2 years ago now? So they should have still been hitting that stride. Instead, they're starting to fall off. That's kind of like what happened with the Cubs years ago when they won the World Series, and they were supposed to be back there always, and just it never happened. The Chris Bryant thing fell apart, and all those guys just didn't get there. For some reason, this team is not clicking. Whether that's a Torey Lovullo thing, and maybe they get rid of him, or maybe it's something that just is at this point, with the way that the Giants are playing, the way that the Padres are playing, and obviously the way that the Dodgers are playing, you can't think that they're going to jump all 3 of those teams, or even get close to jumping at least 2 of them to get into the wild card spot. So if they can't, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen more for the future, moving off of guys like a Corbin Carroll and trying to get as much as you can back, that kind of makes sense to me.
Maybe the Dodgers go get Corbin Burns because we need one more guy who's had Tommy John surgery.
Sandy Alcantara.
Or Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly. Those are 2 dudes that will be very much hot commodities if they decide to sell.
Yeah, for sure.
They did just take 2 or 3 from the Padres, so who knows what's going to happen down there in Diamondback country. It's always a tight race, but this one, it seems like it's going to be too tough to jump those 3 teams like Greg mentioned.
Yeah, I mean they started hot, they sort of faded a little bit. They've been kind of treading water right now, just a game over 500, but you could certainly be in a position to wreck somebody else's year when we get down to it in August and September for sure. Clint, always great to have you here, man. Let the folks know what you got going on.
Today will be also more ESPN for me because we got Alden Gonzalez joining us on Dodgers territory, myself, Sweet. Alana Rizzo, 12 o'clock Pacific time, talking about how the hell the Shohei Otani decision came together, because Alden was there, boots on the ground at the stadium. So yeah, I'll be live 12 o'clock Pacific time. Myself, Alana Rizzo. Subscribe, do all those things. Find my other show, All Dodgers with Clint Macias. I had instant reactions to the decision to bring Shohei back yesterday on my YouTube channel. So that was a lot of fun, and always a lot of fun talking to you guys this morning.
Absolutely. Certainly appreciate it. Go check out Clint and Alana as well for more talk about Shohei and the Dodgers in the meantime. Shout out to the folks in the chat. As always, thanks to LAX for helping us put this thing together. That'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review. We got lasers. Stick around. Travis and DeMarco coming up here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. For Clint, for Parker, for Craig, I'm Marcus. For the Blue Review. We'll see you.
Bye.